Greetings again, part two, for those of you that did not score 80% or higher on the most recent um, comprehension check. So the law of conservation of mass. The amount of matter does not change during a chemical reaction. The atoms are only rearranged to form new substances. And this is evidenced or shown in a balanced chemical equation. Note that the number of atoms and reactants are the same. Are the same and they are equal. So we have two molecules of Fe2O3, and so you have 2 times 2 is 4, iron atoms, and 2 times oxygen has 3, so that's 6 oxygen plus 3 carbons, and that produces 4 irons plus 3 carbon O 3 carbon dioxides. And you see on the reactant side and on the product side, it is equal. So how does this apply to chemical reaction? The mass of the reactants must always equal the mass of the products. Essentially, the arrow sign means equal. 2 sodiums plus a molecule of chlorine produces 2 sodium chlorides, and 2 grams of sodium plus 1 gram of chlorine would produce 3 grams of table salt. The reactants are equal to the products. Now, another example, 2 aluminum chlorines, the coefficient times the subscript. So aluminum, you've got 2 as a coefficient, but you only if there's no subscript, you assume it to be 1. That's only 2 atoms of aluminum, whereas the chlorine, there's 3 atoms in each of the molecules. So 3 times the 2, it would be 2 times 1 equals 2, and 2 times 3 equals 6. So now you do it, together or in pairs or just by yourself. Determine the number of atoms for each element in the following compounds. So 3 molecules of NH4F, 2 molecules of calcium NO32, and how many molecules of H2C2OH. You try it and pause the video if you need some time to figure it out. Now, some individual practice. Work by yourself to complete. If you get stuck, you have only $1 of questions to ask. You can ask the teacher for 25 cents, your table partner for 10 cents, but if you shout across the room, you've used up 50 cents. Number 1, how many atoms are in H2O? Remember, count each of the atoms. Number 2, the law of conservation of mass states that the mass of the reactions must blank the mass of the products. A, be less than, B, be greater than, or C, be equal to. Number 3, true or false. The number of atoms of each element is the same after a reaction. And B, true or false, the number of each compound is the same after a reaction. You may take your time to figure each one of these out. Okay, starting for number 2. How many atoms of hydrogen are in 2C6H12O6? B, how many atoms of carbon are in 2C6H12O6? And the law of conservation of mass says that matter is neither created nor what? Students will be able to define the law of conservation of mass, apply the conservation of mass to balancing chemical equations. Okay.